Today, I'm here with my good friend Cyril Gupta, and I'm going to interview him about a brand new product, which is called Diggy Miner, which is a lead scraping software. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Cyril explain exactly what the software is. Then we dive into a demo of the software, a pre-recorded demo, and then we come back where I can ask some more questions to Cyril. So first of all, welcome, Cyril, and tell us about Diggy Miner. What is this product about? What does it do, etc.?
Thanks, Tim. It's great to be talking to you again. Diggy Miner is my latest product that solves one big problem that people have had while trying to get leads or any sort of data online. Now, we know that the internet can be a great resource no matter what kind of business you're in. Whether you're an e-com or you're running an agency, whether you're running even a B2C product, there is a lot of data online that you can grab that can help you get ahead in your business. It can be leads, it can be competition data. Like if you're running an e-com store, you might want to monitor your competitors, find out what new products they've released and also what kind of pricing they've got. Or you want to check out customer sentiment if you're in a single product and you want to check out what other people's customers are saying so that you can try to capitalize on the gaps and fill that. And if you're running an agency, you might want to go to different websites or LinkedIn or Facebook and grab leads like phone numbers and emails. Well, all of that is enabled through web scraping. Literally, there are tens of thousands of websites online with data on it that you would want. Like there are websites that deal with local leads, that deal with specific niches. Like I was on a webinar earlier and I was talking to a customer who told me that they like to get leads for doctors. They have a product they sell to doctors, and they need to go to many different websites to collect that data, doctors' names and phone numbers and the degrees. So all of that information is, either you can do it manually or you can pick up specialized tools, which are called scrapers, and let the tools do the job. Now, so far till today, what happened was the scrapers need to be custom coded because every single website out there is unique. Like Facebook is unique. It's different from LinkedIn. Both of them have leads. But if you wanted to have a program that would go out, read Facebook and get the data, you would have to write it pretty uniquely. And anytime Facebook changed its interface, which is quite a lot, you would need to update that little code and make sure it's up to date. So all of that was the one reason why scrapers so far were insanely expensive, because they had to be manually maintained. And also they were so, out of reach of small businesses. So you had big businesses who were scraping financial data, e-com data, all sorts of data, online leads. Like, there is this very famous company, Apollo.io, which is actually built on scrapers. They got a multi-billion-dollar business. They scrape leads and they sell you the leads for, let's say, 100x markup, right? It's the same source. Now you can't get to it because you don't have a good enough scraper, but these guys have written lots of different scrapers and they have the capability to scrape all websites. So they can do it. So what I did was marry the scraper to AI. Now, AI is changing things a lot, and AI's got a brain just like a human being. So we can actually tell the AI to look at a web page and then tell us, hey, what is on the page? So you can tell AI to do things like look at this page and grab all the email addresses and people's name from it and give it to me in a spreadsheet. So AI can do that. And with automation, you can do it at scale. So I built Diggy Scraper, which is a browser automation tool. It's an extension that works for Chrome. It can get into Chrome and then it uses AI to scrape whatever website you want and get you whatever data you want. So you don't need to code anything at all. All you need to do is load up that website and then tell the scraper exactly what you want in kind of human language. So you can say things like names of the people and the phone numbers, and that's what it will grab and can give you, and all the data is available. And that's not all. So I put a backend to Diggy Miner. So there is a website that you can go to. The Chrome extension sends all the data to the website, and then on the website you can use AI to chat to the data. So you can, of course, download it in a CSV format if you want to put it in your CRM or whatever software you've got, and you can use it from there. But if you want to further analyze the data, you can use AI to analyze the data, ask questions, and get answers. So it's like an insane research tool, lead grabbing tool. It can get you any sort of data from any website, and then you can analyze it any way you want or take it to any app or any CRM, any mailing system from there. So that's the product. It's quite an easy to understand product for anybody who's dealt with scraping. And on my webinar yesterday, I saw that about 80% of the people had tried it at some point of time. And the common consensus was it's very difficult, it's very expensive, it's a mess. Well, that's the problem I'm trying to solve here with Diggy Miner AI.
Well, that was a long introduction about Diggy Miner, what it exactly is. I can imagine if you hear all of this, you're curious to see about the tool, how it works in action. So let's show the demo right now and come back after the demo.
Welcome to Diggy Miner. If you're looking for leads, pricing information, financial data, or any other information that's on online websites, this is the most powerful scraping technology to get you that information. You've looked at scrapers before, but Diggy Miner is the only AI scraper that uses AI to figure out website structures and get you exactly the data you need without any custom recipes, codes, or any specialized hard work. So let's take a look and see how Diggy Miner works. For our first scrape, let's pick up a website that's hyper localized. So I'm on this website called citysearch.ae, which is a website that helps you find local businesses here in Dubai. And there are literally thousands of websites like these on the internet that cater to specific places like a city or a community, or to special niches, like they could be a website talking about all the lawyers, or a website that lists all the dental clinics in your area. So there are sites that hold a gold mine of information, and if you can scrape them, you can get that all without manual work. Now, a regular scraper would not be able to scrape this website because it would need to be trained on this site structure. Somebody would actually need to sit down and code it to scrape this particular site. Only then it would be able to scrape it. Well, not Diggy Miner. So you start Diggy Miner by clicking on the icon in the toolbar. This is the extension, and then you select what kind of information you are looking for. So here are some common objectives. Mine for leads, this is what we're gonna go for in this particular instance. Then mine for product information. So if you're on an e-com site, you could be mining for that. Mine for user content, so you could do that if you want to mine reviews or content like that. Mine something else, or mine the entire page. Yes, these are your options. Here, let's go for mine for leads. Then you have the option to crawl specific URLs. So if you got a list of URLs, you can just feed them in Diggy Miner, and Diggy Miner will scrape it, crawl it, and take out your data. Then you can put your data neatly organized in campaigns, and I will call this one, I will add a new campaign for this particular search, and I will call it Dubai Lawyers. So I'm looking for lawyers based out of Dubai in this particular scrape. I've created the campaign. Then you can tell Diggy exactly the information you want. For example, name of company, phone number, just separate it by comma, address. So this is the information that I want from this website. Then you can select what kind of navigation system does a website have. You know, some websites have this auto scrolling technology where you scroll to the bottom and it just expands and more records show up. So if you have something like that, you can select auto scroll. And if you have something like a pagination system, in this particular instance, it's a pagination system. So you've got this pager over here and you can navigate to different pages by clicking on them. So in this case, it's pagination. Then you can select how many pages you want to scrape. So let's go for 10. And of course, after continuing with 10, you can continue and go and scrape more in the next session. So that's okay. You can scrape up to 20 pages in one session. Let's go for 10. Then you got to select the next page button, which is right here. You will see this little box, locate next page button. Click on start selection, then select the next page, and then just click on finish selection. Well, Diggy Miner gets to work straight away. It's scraping the pages already, and it will get all the data from all the pages and then organize it. Of course, it's gonna take a little while, maybe a couple of minutes. As you can see, it's auto scrolling the pages, grabbing the data. It's on the second page now, and once it finishes with the second page, it will go to the third page. So let's just hold up, and I'll come back when it finishes the scraping in a minute or so. It's been less than a minute and Diggy is already on the 9th page. All right, the scraping process is finished and now Diggy is already organizing the data, extracting all the records from the scraping data, and this will take another minute or so. All done, and you can see that Diggy found 384 records and it took 73 seconds to do this. You can click on view data and it takes you to the backend. It's a SaaS software where you can organize all the data, use it and work with it. So here you see, here are the records. These are all the lawyers that are present on that website. You can see here, it's got the names of the companies, it's got the phone numbers, it's also got the address. So now this is usable data. You can extract it, export it to CSV, JSON or XLSX, and you can do something more than that. Of course, beyond exporting, you can even chat with the data. So if you click on Diggy AI, you're taken to the AI data analyzer, and then you can click on new chat, and we have our freshly scraped data, lawyers from City Search over here. Let's click on it and just click on start chat. And now all we need to do is ask it a question, any question we want. For example, just ask that question and you will get an answer from the AI. You don't need to go through the records. See, it even told you there is no lawyer in Dubai Marina, but there are some lawyers in the nearby areas. So that's what AI can do for you. I asked it another question. And here you go, it gave me a very nice list along with the address and the phone numbers. And you can go for any kind of depth you want. For example, you can even ask silly questions and you will get an answer. Here you go. The lawyer that starts with C is Clyde & Co. Then I asked it which lawyers have Arabic names and it gave me a list. And the next question I asked it was which lawyers seem to be led by women, and I got an answer to that too. So imagine the kind of analysis you can do if you're scraping data using Diggy and analyzing it with AI. You can ask it any question you want. It's like having a very smart research assistant right at your fingertips. It will answer your questions and tell you exactly what you need to know about that data. For our next scraping task, let's scrape this particular group which has a lot of information about products and the prices. So I want to grab, let's say, products and prices from this. So I'm going to click on Diggy again, and this time I will look for mine for product information. I've got a campaign selected here and I will look for product names price. And this is an auto scrolling page. As you can see, there is no pager here. So I will go for auto scrolling and I can select how many seconds I want and then click on start digging. And you can see it found some records, so we can view data. And here we've got information. These are the products that it grabbed and the price. So this is how it can scrape Facebook. You can do the same thing with LinkedIn. Like I'm in a group that has LinkedIn data. And this time I want to grab maybe email addresses or phone numbers. Let's try to do that. So we're gonna click on Diggy again, and I have a campaign for LinkedIn. I want to mine for leads, name, let's make it phone number and name. And again, this is auto scrolling. Let's try 45 and click on start digging. In this particular instance, only one person had listed the phone number. And if you click on view data, you can see the name and the phone number as you desired. You can also scrape Amazon. So I'm on an Amazon page now, and this is a product which has a lot of reviews. And this time I want to scrape the Amazon reviews. So that's what I'll do here. I'll click here, and this time product information. Let's create a new campaign. Let's call it Amazon product reviews. And click on save, and we'll say name of reviewer and review, and we'll keep it auto scrollable. Let's go to the top of the page. Let's do 30 seconds and click on start digging. And it was able to grab 9 reviews. If you go into the scrape data, the names are here and you've got the review, and you can chat with this data too. We'll just go to Diggy AI, start off a new chat, and we'll select the data scraped from Amazon. We can ask a question like, can you tell me what was the thing that people disliked most about this product? And you got an answer that is specific to the data you have. YubiKey 5C is complexity of the initial setup. That's what people disliked. So if you are trying to bring an alternative, maybe you can easily try to explore those pain points, try to solve those pain points, and be able to serve the market. So it's a great research tool. You can scrape any sort of data from anywhere, and then you can either export the data, bring it into your spreadsheet. If you got a CRM, you can bring the leads into your CRM. You can bring the leads into your calling system and start calling them or start emailing them as you desire. You can start off your outreach programs. If you harvest reviews or any other kind of data, then you can analyze that data, export it, analyze it any way you want, or grab any sort of data from any website. That is the power of Diggy. Awesome. So I hope you like this demo, and if you get Diggy now, we'll see you on the inside. Thank you so much for watching it.
Well, you saw now what Diggy Miner is capable of, and that's very impressive, Cyril, what you've built here. An amazing tool. Can you tell us a little bit more? Who do you have in mind with a tool like this? Is this for marketers or researchers? Who is able to use this tool?
I think the first customers would be agency owners, the people who either run agencies or who want to cater to other businesses, so the B2B guys. Because I think the biggest problem with agency people or with B2B guys is they have to get leads, and then they run campaigns like outreach campaigns, or they call up the leads, or they send emails out. And it's always a challenge to find fresh leads. Even if you subscribe to tools like Apollo, you pay hundreds of dollars a month for them. Then also the leads that they give you are pretty stale because they're being used by literally thousands of people out there in every single niche. So the customers are getting a lot of messages. The freshest leads are in-market leads. For example, let's say you were in the business of medicinal supply. So you could go to Facebook groups where doctors hang out, and there are a bunch of them, for example, and you could just try to crawl the latest data about, from people who are in that group who are talking about things. So these leads are fresher, they are more in market, and when you send out a message to them, you get a better response. So this was just an example. But any kind of agency that want leads, will want the scraper, will want the tool, especially if they're paying for any third-party lead source. Also, if you collect these leads, you can monetize by selling the leads to local businesses who don't know about this technology, who are not aware of this. So there are multiple ways: either use it for your business or sell the leads to other businesses.
So do you know legal aspect, Cyril? The leads that you download, let's say you use email addresses that you scrape online. Are you allowed to email those email leads? Do you know that?
Okay, sure. Yes, of course. See, here is the thing. If you spam those leads, that's a big no-no. So here is what you do. You don't send spam emails, you send outreach emails. And how are spam emails different than outreach? Well, the first and the most important thing is you don't put a link in the emails. I'm sure if you've been in business, you've been receiving these emails where you have an email from X guy and they reach out to you in a very organic manner. They address you by name. They might even mention your business, may even tell you that they have seen something about your business that they like. And then they usually pitch an idea or a product or an offer, but they don't put a link to go and buy or to, just blindly react in some manner. They would usually say, hey, if you want to fix up a meeting, please let me know and I will respond back and we will take on the conversation from there, or I will create a meeting link and you can get on a call with me. So it's all about email exchange. As long as you're doing outreach and not spamming, you will be fine. So there is this thin line.
Yeah.
Don't send a huge number of emails blindly with the same link to everyone. Instead, craft individual emails. And there are outreach software out there like Instantly. Actually, there are dozens of software. Woodpecker.
You actually have a software like that, right?
Yeah, I have one too, and I'm building one right now, which is AI enabled. So my current software
cool.
app was three years older, and there was no AI then, but now I'm building something, of course, that will do the outreach for you manually. So, but we're not going to talk about that a lot. But the point is, there are lots of alternatives. So you do the outreach and you'll be fine. And that's what people do. It's not something that businesses don't know how to maintain the practices about. They do it. So I think that solves the problem. All of the people who are trying to do outreach marketing, it's a great tool for that.
Yeah. All right. I know that need to go on the webinar within a few minutes. Few quick questions, Cyril. You're launching this right now on the day that we're having the interview. What's the price of the product?
Okay, so I have an all-inclusive deal which goes live today, which will be just about $200, depending on when people see it. If today maybe around 200, if tomorrow maybe a couple of bucks extra. But the price is gonna rise through the launch. It's a 5-day launch, and at the end of the launch, it's gonna go to recurring. But right now, you can get the all-inclusive deal for just about $200. It's an insane price. It's lifetime too.
That's a very good price. And that the bundle basically means that you get the front end plus all the upgrades for a discounted price, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. All the upgrades.
So you're saying after 5 days, the product goes recurring. So after 5 days, everyone has to pay monthly to use this tool?
Yep, it's monthly and yearly pricing, and it goes to $67 monthly just for the front end.
Oh, wow.
And then the back end is another $97. I mean, the pro version is another $97, plus there are other products in the funnel. Also, the reseller version, which is a part of this deal, goes away after the 5 days. So I think this is the best time to grab it. Later on, of course, I run ads and I have people come in, but they buy it at a high price and at a recurring.
Okay. Hey, so Cyril, questions that are on the fans tab, maybe not that technical. Tell them why they should get this tool.
Okay, so actually this is the easiest to use tool that you can imagine. Firstly, it's a browser plugin. It plugs into the browser. You don't need to download an app. You don't need to master anything. Practically the entire product is like 4 buttons. You choose a website and then you choose scrape now, and it kind of does the job, and it gives you a spreadsheet of data. So this is very easy to understand product. Anybody who's been doing lead marketing, anybody who wants leads should be able to use it without a hassle. Now, why do you want to get it? Because see, this is the technology that is absolutely the future. Already there are AI scrapers, but they are institutional level AI scrapers, nothing available for the small businesses. They are being sold at an insane price, even thousands of dollars. But with this, I have been able to do this on the browser, which actually makes it possible for me to do it affordably. But this is the technology of the future. I'm sure I'm the first one in the market, but this is going to be the mainstream technology when it comes to getting leads, because AI solves that problem.
Yeah.
Now, till now, people were doing this manually. I know people who would manually go to a website, collect the email addresses in their niche, and do the outreach for that. Right. So this solves that problem. It's a insanely easy to understand product, and anybody who's an agency or B2B, this is a no-brainer for them. Actually, I don't think anybody can operate in the long term, and I'm talking about 6 months from now, without this kind of product if you are in the B2B business.
Awesome. Awesome. Final question, Cyril, and then I'll let you go. Can you scrape any element on a page? Or are you limited?
It doesn't kind of things like element. You have to look for information, because this is the thing. So far, when we think about scraping a page, we're thinking about titles and HTMLs and sections. Because this is AI, you just need to tell what information you want.
And then it understands.
If you look for email addresses, you can tell the AI, I want email addresses. If you're looking for phone numbers, you tell it, I look for phone numbers. So you can be pretty specific. You don't need to specify any kind of element. But I get your question. It can scrape. I know what you're asking. It can scrape JavaScript websites. Yes, it can scrape static websites.
But basically, if AI can understand your question, it can scrape it.
Absolutely. And because it is browser based, it can scrape. A lot of scrapers can scrape JavaScript, but this is browser based.
Yeah.
So it loads up on the page. It sees exactly what you see. So the scraping potential is pretty high.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I'll let you go. If you're interested, guys, there's a link below this video where you can get access to the product. And Cyril, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on the webinar. And
thank you.
See you in the next show, man.
See you there.
All right. Bye-bye.